Hello, everyone. Today on Dot to Dot, I'm going to talk about the upcoming geometry that is associated with the garden shaft. And I just watched the last episode of the Crystal of Oak Island. I saw this on the end, and I just decided, you know what? I'm going to do something this morning and analyze this for you guys and give you the results of what I come up with. This is geometry that I'm very familiar with. I've dealt with this about a year ago. But here is his geometry here. We have, it looks like a grid that is 145 by 6 by 5. And it looks like he's taken the 145 foot squares here, the 5 by 5, and he's found the center point of this grid. Now this is interesting because the headstone, the distance from the headstone to cone E is 722 feet, according to Fred Nolan, and 5 times 145 is 725 feet. So it's not that big of a difference. It's about 3 feet. So I found the midpoint here, and then I ran the lines from cone C right here and ran it through the middle of cone A right here. These are GPS coordinates. And then I ran from the midpoint through the middle of cone B. And that was all I could do. I ran a line from cone C, or from cone E, and I basically just ran it through the intersection of where those other two vectors came, and look where it lands. It lands, he's right, it lands very, very close to the garden shaft. Now where this line from cone E runs to, if there's another point out here, it would be interesting to know. In my working with this geometry that has to do with cone A, C, and E, is I used the large boulder that's on the 1937 survey. This is actually a geometry, in my opinion, that has to do with the stone triangle. However, this geometry does work with these two lines from the midpoint of the grid to and cone C and cone A. It goes to right here. Now we'll have to watch and see if he explains how the rest of this geometry works, but I'm just guessing that this is going across, it's intersecting here from cone E, and then it goes up somewhat 90 degrees. It wouldn't be exactly 90 degrees geometrically unless this circle was running exactly through cone E, but it does not. But this circle, the center of this circle is cone A. So this is all I could gather, that he's just checking the axis point through this triangulation. I don't quite understand it, but he is right about the point of being in the garden shaft. So about a year ago, it's actually been exactly a year ago, when I was studying the stone triangle, the 1937 survey, I was also studying the connection between the stone triangle and the oak entrance, which is on the Rashford Call map. Let me take this off. And you know, we have the Rashford Call map here, and this is part of the vault theory. And what my study that I was doing and I haven't shared this on any of my videos because it's something that really is a part of a bigger geometry, and it is not really that interesting, but it is something that I'll bring up now since it's being brought up on the show. That, here's my line from cone C to cone A that goes down like this. Now, the line that I use from the cone B, it comes from a point which is called the east-west intersection. It is, put the Rashford Call map. It is a line that sets up an east-west line that goes through the center of this quadrant on the Rashford Call map, and this is where it intersects the Nolan's Cross. It's right here. There's actually more lines that go through this point. I call it the trifecta point. And then this line continues off to Round Island, and there's some boulders here that actually set up this east-west line. So what basically my study on this geometry is that it locates the stone the drilled rock that is related to the stone triangle. And there's much more going on this than just the two lines from the cone A and C to here. Of course, I use this point here, and the other point that I use is cone E. My line from cone E goes to what I call now the rose stone, and this is the large boulder that is on the 1937 survey. And we know that the 1937 survey has everything to do with the stone triangle, and this was done by Gilbert Hedden back in 1937. And this is a survey that is done by I believe it was done by the assistant of Charles Roper, George Bates. He redrew this, I think in 1970 or something like that. But, the reason I call that the rose stone is that Robert Restall, he puts on his map the old rose bush. And there used to be an old rose bush that used to be in line with this boulder, this large boulder. Now his doesn't exactly line up to where I have this placed on his map, but it's only off by about, I think, 6 feet or something like that. This is where I draw the line on from cone E. And these intersections this intersection right here is a 90-degree angle. It's due east of what is on the Rashford Call map called the vault under the earth. And it's due north. It goes due north from the stone triangle, okay, up to the intersection of the axis of Nolan's Cross right here. And this center of this circle is the headstone. And we have another thing is from the stone triangle to triangle 2 sets up a center point right here with that is equidistant from cone E and cone A. So this geometry, even though it's very familiar, I think it's very relevant to the mystery of Oak Island. I just think it's a lot more than substantiating the box that's called the money pit or the garden shaft. I hope there's something there, but we have to start thinking outside the box here. The There's a lot more to this. I wish I could go on more about this, but it's really sort of intense. And I just wanted to share with you that this is something that I've studied probably about a year ago. There's a lot more that goes into this. And perhaps I'll do another video about it. It gets into the more about the 1937 survey and the location of the drilled stone and the stone triangle, which I believe at this point, I didn't before, but I believe it's very much connected to Nolan's Cross and the whole mystery at of Oak Island. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.